Today on Around Kansas, we have some special guest hosts, Pierce and Marla Matkin, encouraging you to shop your local museums and bookstores this holiday season. They also introduce us to an amazing segment produced by Dave Kendall. Then Rocky Downing's guest on the front porch is K-State microbiologist Micase. Ron Wilson takes us to the Kansas Flint Hills, and we end with a fun video from the talented Joseph Disberger from Wamego.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
I am not Deb Goodrich. My name is Jane Humphrey Pierce, and I'm president of the Fort Wallace Memorial Association, and we're helping out our good friend Deb Goodrich here on Around Kansas on this week before Christmas, Wednesday morning. And we're coming to you from the Fort Wallace Museum in Wallace, Kansas. Marla Matkin here is my friend, and she's going to share some more about Christmas upcoming gifts that we can do and history that's abounding in our area. But we want to wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas. A lot of us are having last-minute gift thoughts. Okay, exactly. We're out trying to get our gifts together for our families, and we just want to encourage the gift of books. For Christmas. Children love books. It's the gift that will give all year long, and adults too. It's a great gift idea, and you can find them in many local bookstores and museums. Marla, can you tell us a little bit more about a book that you're particularly involved with?
I have a personal connection with this book. I have portrayed for over 25 years Elizabeth Custer, wife of General George Armstrong Custer, and I taught school at one time. And I've always had the desire to write a book, and what better to associate it with the history I so love. And in one of Libby's books, she mentions a little mouse that Custer possessed. He found it on the trail. It traveled with him for a while. They don't know what actually happened to it. But I took that mention and created a story and a book about it called Custer's Mouse. We have the little mouse sitting here in uniform. He became one of Custer's little scouts, and I think it would make a perfect Christmas gift for a child. It's historically oriented, but yet an interesting and fun story. I have an excellent professional illustrator, Ronald Kill from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
It's a beautiful book. It's so cute.
He has done just an excellent job with the illustrations on this book. And I would highly recommend it to you. Whether you're a Custer fan or not, I think you may walk away from this book being more of a Custer fan. And as Jane said, we've both been teachers.
We've been teachers, and this gift of reading is absolutely vital for kids and being lifelong learners.
Exactly. And we want to extend that to your local museum. They have wonderful gift shops.
Why not go to your local gift shop, to your local museum, retail area, and pick up some local volumes of history that folks will really enjoy.
Yes. And again, it's the gift that keeps giving. You can share it with others during the course of the year, and you'll learn. Also, if you're looking for a Christmas gift, how about a membership to one of your
wonderful idea. Yeah,
museums or historical societies.
Those memberships will be a gift that gives all year long. It will benefit your local historical society, and it can be an involvement for this person. For the person has everything.
Yes,
you've got
yes.
those people in your life, the people that have everything. And this may be something
they benefit, and it helps the organization as well. I'm closely associated not only with Fort Wallace, but with the Friends of Historic Fort Hays. In fact, previously I've been there for their Christmas as well, and with the Old Guard at Fort Larned. And I know both of those organizations would highly appreciate your participation. And who knows, you may get interested enough that you become strongly involved.
Absolutely.
And
there's so many opportunities with these historical associations.
most certainly.
So, okay, we've done our job for Miss Deb. Deb, I hope we did all right. See you guys, and let's enjoy the rest of the show.
Merry Christmas.
In 1821, a trade route was opened from Missouri in the United States across prairies and mountains to Mexico. In 2021, we will mark 200 years of epic conflicts and grand adventures, larger-than-life personalities, and sweeping landscapes. Join us on an historic journey. The Santa Fe Trail lives on.
Find us on social media or santafetrail.org.
My name's Karen Cope, and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but you know what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. You know, after stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before. Because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards, and to be able to win at cards. You know, they all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? You know, where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
Welcome back to Around Kansas. I'm Jane Pierce. Here's my friend Marla Matkin. And we're going to introduce a short film about the Santa Fe Trail, a film by Dave Kendall. And it's featuring the Upper Independence landing of the Santa Fe Trail, Marla.
Yes, and the Santa Fe Trail was a trail of commerce, for those of you who are not aware, and it is getting ready to, in 2021, to celebrate its bicentennial, 200 years of commerce and history.
What a year that's coming
Yes.
up. Let's watch this short film that's starring Rex Buchanan and Larry Short. Let's watch together.
Upper Independence Landing is located on the bluff directly above Wayne City Landing. That was a river landing from all the 1840s on up until about 1847 when the landing at Westport on west of here opened up. This was the primary and first major landing for travelers coming up by steamboat. And then they bought their wagons in Independence.
In the part of the world that I'm from, and I don't think this is too unusual, when people talk about the Santa Fe Trail, they think about it in terms of an overland trail. Water and steamboats don't enter into the equation so much. At least that's kind of what I think to casual people, if they picture Santa Fe Trail, they picture wagons and, you know, being drawn by oxen going over the land. Right?
And from this point west, yes.
It is.
But to get it here, they utilized the steamboats and everything. And then in later years, they even utilized the railroad as they came in.
Right.
To bring goods in by rail.
To a certain point.
To get there, but then from here on, it was all overland. You know, they would come in here and buy their wagons, buy their teams of yoke of oxen, and see in the early days, there were no mules. The mules came from the Santa Fe trade. Okay. They brought in, originally they came from California into Santa Fe, and then they were traded for as part of the trade goods actually, and brought back to Missouri.
Well, does it feel a little bit like to you, and I know there are all sorts of places that make this claim, but does it feel a little bit like to you that, at least for a time, you've got the beginning of the trail here? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, this was probably for the largest number of years. This was actually the beginning of the trail. Started. Yeah, where they would have met up and started. Yeah, it was America's first international highway of commerce, the Santa Fe Trail. That was the trade between two countries, overland trail between the United States and Mexico.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun. For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the Territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton!
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff, like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Hi everyone, Rocky Downing. Today on Around Kansas, we visit with Micase, a microbiologist with Kansas State University. He talks about his path into Kansas State, and in his words says he looks more like a trucker than a microbiologist, but a neat story on his path into his career.
My grandparents had a house up at Tunnel Creek Lake outside of Manhattan. So we would go up there for vacations and we'd drive around K-State. So I was K-State from early on. And then more high school, I kind of grew in a KU allegiance because I had some friends that went there, and an old junior high mate of Calvin Thompson played basketball there.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Back in the mid-'80s.
Cool.
So kind of really became a KU fan about that time.
Huh. So you go to K-State with the position you took, did you know what it really was going to entail? Did you have an idea what you would be doing, I guess is what I'm asking?
Not really.
Yeah.
I'd had some experiences doing tissue culture work and virology, and those were some of my interests. And I think I just was able to sell them on that I was interested in this, and I was willing to work for basically almost nothing at the time.
So tell us what when I hear microbiologist, it sounds otherworldly to a layman like myself. What is your day like? Does it change all the time?
it kind of changes with the direction that we're now. For the past 5 years, I've worked back in a research lab.
Okay.
And by the way, it's my 30th year at K-State.
Wow.
In the lab I work in now, we do research with E. coli, salmonella, just intestinal pathogens. And we study the virulence proteins they make and inject into our host cells, into our guts. They modulate our immune system. So they flick on and flick off our immune system to help them survive. So that's what we study now. Whatever comes up, we do different side projects. Do gene editing, CRISPR gene editing. We're starting to learn some of that. But that's one of the things I really enjoy about being a research scientist, is that we just kind of go in an interesting direction. Like a couple years ago, I went to the boss and said, hey, you know what, this CRISPR gene editing, this new technique's pretty cool. He said, yeah, we need to do something with that. So we sit down, we teach ourselves how to do it, and then we find ways in our field of study to apply it.
How many do you work hand in hand with, or, I mean, paint a picture of when you go into work, what it looks like for you?
Well, I have one boss is a principal investigator. He's a PhD microbiologist. Okay. And then I'm kind of a lab manager type position. And I also have my own list of projects that I work on. We have federally funded grants from the NIH that we get, $1 million over 5 years, or 2 or 3 years, to study these things. And then we have 2 postdocs that come in and take research projects, and then a couple graduate students, and rarely we take on an undergraduate to come in and do the lab work.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me, and it's fascinating in the fact that I can't imagine what you are able to accomplish and do. It's also over my head completely, which is fascinating. I think, do people have a reaction when they say, what do you do for a living? I'm a microbiologist. Do you get questions or eyebrows raised, or what is the reaction?
A lot of people turn around and walk away. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be so dull and boring.
And you're completely opposite of that, by the way. For those that don't know Micase, that is not the case at all. And I think that's maybe, okay, so people that get to know you as a coach or an author or just a sports fan, and then they find out you're a microbiologist, do you have a different reaction then too?
Oh yeah, it's like, what?
Are you serious? No, really, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, type of deal.
Because I don't look smart at all.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm, so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the Territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
Kansans have a new choice for Medicare Supplement insurance plans. With Medicare Supplement insurance plans from Kansas Farm Bureau, you have access to 4 levels of coverage, affordable rates, and service from an organization that's served Kansans for more than 100 years. For more information on Kansas Farm Bureau Medicare Supplement plans, including rates and to apply, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Trust and leadership are critical to success at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center in Manhattan. Just ask Coach Bill Snyder.
People of the Regenerative Center do care about others. I've been highly impressed with those people that have that vested interest and try to help people become better. The center really is a wonderful thing here in Manhattan, first of its kind, and we're on the cutting edge of what lies ahead.
Find out more about the trusted leader in stem cell therapy at kansasrmc.com. Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agamandkansas.com. This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
In 1806, an explorer named Zebulon Pike traveled through what became the eastern part of Kansas. And on September 12, he wrote in his journal, "Past very rough Flint Hills, my feet blistered and very sore." And with that, he gave our Flint Hills region its name. And he was right. You need to wear good boots out in these hills. This poem is titled The Kansas Flint Hills. A traveler leaves Kansas City, going west on interstate. He comes into a region which I want to celebrate. As he enters rolling rangeland, there's a sign his vision fills, a big sign of native stone, saying, "Welcome to the Flint Hills." The region takes its name from a long ago hike, when described as Flint Hills by explorer Zebulon Pike. The stones of flint or chert which underlie this great landscape over centuries made the hills with their unique slope and shape. Those rocks made it unsuitable for use by farmers' plows, but they made a perfect place to harvest grass by grazing cows. These hills underlain by rock are a wondrous part of God's creation, a special part of Kansas, and a treasure for our nation. It's the last remaining tall grass, a key site of prairie ecology, the home of grazing bison and Native American history. The Flint Hills of Kansas are the world's best for grass. When it comes to raising beef, this region's world class. So we celebrate this region and the need that it fulfills for ecology and people in the Kansas Flint Hills. Happy trails.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply. This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back. And now we have another young gentleman that we would like to talk to you about, Joseph Disberger of Wamego, and what a talented young man. We were talking again, being teachers, of what a resource he is. And we can't say enough good things about him. And I think after you've seen this video, you're going to agree, don't you think, Jane?
Yeah, what a major young talent, a teenager, and already producing, creating, puppeteering, doing his own writing. And
producing, directing.
Yeah, the whole thing. This is going to be a talent to watch in years to come. Let's watch it together.
Thank you.
Christmas, Bill.
Oh, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas from all of us here at Envision. And hey, we were just talking about setting up the tree. Where's the tree?
What tree?
The Christmas tree.
Oh, that's what that was.
What else would that be? What did you do? Alright, now what? Oh my gosh.
We could decorate the bird.
Phil? Phil, are you okay with that?
Swah! What's that red thing on your face?
What?
That red thing.
That's a zit.
Awesome!
Let's decorate Phil.
It's been a pleasure coming to you this morning from Fort Wallace, and we hope you enjoy your holiday season. Get out, enjoy it. Go to your local historical society or museum and take in their open house.
Deb, hope we did okay. We'll see you
somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
In 1821, a trade route was opened from Missouri in the United States across prairies and mountains to Mexico. In 2021, we will mark 200 years of epic conflicts and grand adventures, larger-than-life personalities, and sweeping landscapes. Join us on an historic journey. The Santa Fe Trail lives on.
Find us on social media or santafetrail.org.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss 316-945-6733.